Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Let's Play Morrowind with my good self and Fathis. Previously, we finally got Stronghold construction started. We managed to get the deed and the soul gems to, I'm trying to remember what her name is and I'm failing. What's the face down there in the Hermitage? And so that is actually going to go ahead now. And also, we ran around quite a lot under Scar in Aldaroon, talking to various Redoran councillors in order to get support for this anti-monopoly bill thing that Master Aryan wanted to pass to basically annoy the Mages Guild, I guess. And we're actually on our way on this ship here to Telvos to give Master Aryan the good news that we've succeeded in the task he set us. But we have to go via Talamora. It's like trying to get a train anywhere in the UK. You got to go to London first. Alright, then on to Voss. There we go. Right. Master Aryan, I have good news. As I levitate over your naked guards.
I could kill that Gwar. Those boots are ruined.
I wasn't aware that you kept Gwar, but maybe I shouldn't ask. Do we now have enough support to overturn the Mages Guild monopoly? My lord? Yes, we do. More than enough, actually. You've convinced at least 3 councillors. This deserves a reward. Perhaps you could use this glove. I enchanted it myself many years ago. Aryan's Dominator has been added to your inventory. Yeah, we convinced a hell of a lot more than 3 councillors, actually. We convinced, in fact, every single councillor except for the Grand Master himself. So that went down without a hitch. Soon we will take it before the Grand Council. Excellent news! Excellent news. So, there is another Telvanni in trouble. I do not normally interfere with these matters, but I've taken an interest in this one. I need someone to stop the Redoran attack on Sethandas in Shishi. Okay, we just worked with the Redoran, now we're going to go kill a bunch of them. Seems fairly standard Telvanni operating procedure. Several Redoran have infiltrated Shishi, and the Telvanni Sethandas has gone into hiding. Shishi is a Velothi tower in the middle of the Foyada Banidad, northwest of Margan. Leave Margan, go east past the Siltstrider, then follow the Foyada north and west. If you cannot find Sethandas, look for a skull on a desk, which opens a door to a secret storage space. Master Aryan, fate, it seems, is on my side. Because, advancement? Yeah, I still need to build the stronghold. That is exactly where we are going. That is exactly where we are going. We are heading to Margan to take care of that vampire business. And then we're heading north, east-ish, west-ish, anyway, up there to get to the Ashlander camp. So, basically, 3 birds will be killed with a single very large stone. And by stone, I mean journey. That could not have possibly worked out better. Marvellous news. What about this glove that he gave us? Let's have a look. Aryan's Dominator. Cast when used. Command creature 15 levels for 15 seconds on target. Command humanoid 10 levels for 15 seconds on touch. Eh. I never had much time for those spells. They can be useful in a very odd way that you might not think of. Typically, basically, if you want to rob somewhere and there's an annoying guard or NPC that would spot you, you can use a glove of domination, or, well, in this case, yeah, a glove of domination, or any of these command spells, to get them to follow you out of the room, so that when the spell wears off, they're stood outside, because they don't walk back in after the spell wears off. It allows you to sort of ransack the place without anyone noticing. It's a little... Ow. It's a little cheesy, but, excuse me. It's a little cheesy, but it does work. If I ever find myself in a position where that would be useful, I'll have to try and remember that I've got the glove. And I look, you see the little light on the lighthouse all the way over there. The lighthouses are added by a mod, I'm pretty sure, and I have to admit, I think they're a fantastic addition. I think they're probably added by Morrowind Rebirth, and yeah, they're a great idea, because, I mean, you would need lighthouses or something around here, wouldn't you? Like, have you seen the amount of rocks there are on the eastern coast of Vardenfell? It's crazy. You'd have to be a pretty skilled shipmaster to get through all this rubbish in the dark, wouldn't you? Now that I think about it, but anyway. What we're going to do now is we're going to... I don't know why I bothered healing then, because I'm just going to rest very soon. We're going to recall out of here. We're heading home to our lair. Mittens? Bill? Hello again, I'm back. Yes, we're going to make a few preparations, and then our journey north will finally begin. And you, Bill, you're coming with me. Yes, you are. I'm going to have to make sure that you're equipped as best as I can get you equipped. And then we will be heading north, taking a silt strider, I imagine, to Aldrune, and then we'll walk the roads once again, as we have not done in quite some time. Okay, folks, it's the following morning. We're more or less ready to go. I just have a few things to give to Bill here. Basically, I'm offloading some of my heavier equipment on him, like the alchemy stuff. That I don't actually need right now, and you can have that book as well. I don't need that right now either. Jolly good. Excellent. Excellent. I don't need that blackened soul gem either. Okay. Bill, I think we're ready to go. I've already told you to follow me. Hello, Mittens. I told Mittens to guard this place as opposed to just standing on the spot. So Mittens is now, you know, actually patrolling around the place. I had some issues with Bill here. He kind of just refused to move from the spot even when I told him to follow me. It was because... if you're trying to use this mod yourself at home and you're curious as to why that's happened, it's because he had auto move on. The stay out of my way auto move on command, it seemed to just totally bug him out and make him just not move from the spot at all. So I turned that off and now he's fine, so... Come along, Bill. We must leave this place. Now, the main benefit of bringing Bill along is that it's an extra body that can get in the way of nasties trying to kill me. And also, he can carry extra stuff for me. The downside to having Bill with me is that I cannot teleport anywhere without leaving him behind. Bill is not smart enough to teleport with me if I use Divine or Almsevi Intervention or a Recalled Spell or anything like that. So, we will have to walk back from wherever we come. You know, from wherever we are up, like in the Elishaloku camp or something like that, rather than teleporting home. If we want to bring Bill back with us. Of course, Bill may in fact perish on our journey, and if he does, that would be a shame, but what can you do? There's plenty more where Bill came from. I believe he can fast travel with us, though, at least. Most NPCs in the game can by default, if they're following you with a basic follow script, so... That's good, at least. So we can take the gondolas to the edge of Vivek City, for example. That won't be an issue. As the two travellers leave and make their way down to the canal side, Fathis does a few mental checks to make sure he's got everything that he needs. The food is packed, mostly dried salt rice, a bit of marshmallow, some dried meat. He also has a few spare changes of clothes and his magical robes as well. His alchemy equipment, and of course a book for evening reading. In this case, he chose to bring the almost incomprehensible slowed tome on necromancy, which is difficult, if not impossible to read, but lately he's been quite determined to try and finally make some headway with it. All of this, of course, is being carried by Bill, his skeletal servant. He wouldn't bother carrying all of that by himself. Okay, I just want to try something. After looking at what he did just then, I want to try something. I want to try and... I've quick-saved it. I want to try and recall. And then see if he eventually appears. No? Okay. Never mind then. Okay, I thought that might have been worth testing. Turns out he won't follow us. My suspicions were correct, but he will fast travel with us. Good stuff. You can hear the reassuring sound of his footsteps behind me as I travel along. Marvellous. Now then, we want to take the Silt Strider. First to Balmora, then to Ald'ruhn, I think. The Silt Strider journey north is relatively uneventful. The weather, for the most part, is pretty clement as well. Fathis doesn't talk much, and Bill says even less. At one point, the Silt Strider master even turns around and says to Bill, "You don't talk much, do you?" Bill, for his part, replied simply by shaking his head. When the pair arrive finally in Ald'ruhn, unfortunately though, an ash storm has struck once again. It's late in the evening anyway, but the weather, taking a turn for the worse as it has, pretty much completely rules out any chance of leaving on their expedition today. They're going to have to find an inn and wait until tomorrow, when hopefully the storm will have moved on. The guards are busy this evening. The storm coming up has driven a lot of the usual critters into the town to seek shelter, and they're running around swords drawn to try and deal with the vermin. Fathis steps, not for the first time and definitely not for the last, into the Aldscar Inn. It's certainly not the finest establishment he's ever found himself in, but the beds are cheap and plentiful. Rare is the day that this place doesn't have any rooms free, although rooms is being a bit generous to be sure. They're really just cubicles with a bed in. They don't even have doors. Still, the Master Assassin has certainly put up with worse in the past. Not by choice, either. He settles in downstairs, with Bill standing guard outside, lights up his hackle low-leaf, and starts reading his book. The whistling, rumbling sound of the storm up above continues well into the night, even as Fathis starts to drop off and fall asleep. After awakening the following morning, Fathis has some difficulty extricating Bill from the doorway. He's forgotten the command phrase. Slowly, though, it comes back to him, and they're able to start making their way back upstairs to head out on their journey at last. Someone calls from outside just as they're making their way up, that the storm is finally dying down, even as the sun has already risen. That was a long one, and according to the locals, they get worse every year. Sure enough, the wind has begun to die down and the dust begins to settle. The town is hardly at ease, though. Many still remain bolted inside their doors, and the guards, fully armed and armoured, start marching around, checking the perimeter. It's no secret that there are things worse than beetles and cliff races that crawl out of the wastes following a blight storm like that. The people of Ald'ruhn are slowly getting used to it, but that doesn't make it any less dangerous, or any less concerning to Fathis, viewing it all as an outsider. As a matter of fact, the guards even refuse to open the city gates for him. Of course, Fathis finds this somewhat strange, considering If he walks a little bit further down the road, he can just leave via a huge gap in the wall, but protocol is protocol. Privately, he suspects that perhaps they recognize him and realize he's that Talvani ambassador that was in town last week. There's definitely some sort of conspiracy among the guards to make his life difficult. Still, with all of this out of the way, he's at last rewarded with a sweeping view of the Ashlands and the West Gash beyond in the morning light. The sun's golden haze bathes the distant hills, and Fathis looks around, admiring the view for a while. Once they're safely out of view of the townsfolk, Bill removes his helmet to start making some adjustments to it. The Revenant does have a certain degree of autonomy, which Fathis allows it. It rarely speaks, but it is able to adjust its equipment and repair any minor damage to itself or its armor. Fathis glances back over his shoulder at the skeleton, remarking whether or not Bill is also enjoying the view, not expecting an answer. Bill, of course, merely grins back at him, as only a skeleton can. As they approach a crossroads, the duo are assailed by a large desert scorpion. Fathis deliberately backs away, trying to take a secondary role in this combat, watching with curiosity as Bill begins to attack, using the large Daedric battle axe he was given. It's a fine weapon, a rare one, a heavy one, and a very valuable one, but unfortunately, it really does occur to Fathis that Bill simply doesn't have the proficiency to wield it effectively. He's curious about that. To what extent the skeleton's skills were inherited from the mortal it once was. Either way, he decides to take the Daedric battle axe out of Bill's hands and allow him to equip the glass daikatana instead, which he's fairly convinced he'll make better use of. While going through some of his things, Fathis notices a small amulet that he has to confess he completely forgot about. Radazar's Veil. It was given to him by somebody in Aryan? Possibly Ranyan Rune? Was it Nataya? It seems like such a long time ago already. He can't remember. But either way, the amulet is very useful, providing a constant shield effect, which is impractical in a lot of situations where he's walking around town, where the ostentatious purple glow would be a bit much. But out here in the wilderness, where something can jump out at you from behind a rock at any given moment, perhaps it's a wise investment. Okay, so we seem to have found a cave. Not in any great rush, so, what do you say, Bill? I think we should check this out. That was foolish of you, wasn't it, random person? Who are you? Theron. You know what? Considering I don't have my Amulet of Star Vision equipped on account of having equipped Radazar's Veil instead, I suppose I'll use a lantern for once. A Nyx Hound. That is not what I was expecting, I will be honest. Multiple Nyx Hounds. Interesting. You have a lute. And a key. So what are you guys, smugglers? I can't quite figure out what it is you're meant to be smuggling, though. Maybe they're just bandits. These crates are full of stuff that they've robbed from people. That would make sense, I suppose. Ah. There's my lantern. If they've got any torches around. Oh, no, it's still going. It's just suddenly got darker in here for some reason. I have to admit this lantern is not tremendously effective. If it's dark, for those of you watching at home, trust me, it's dark for me too. Don't need a petty soldier. Ah! The beauty of having a gauntlet of telekinesis. Traps are no longer a concern for me. Sure, I'll take that glass lantern. Wonder if it's any better than the one I'm currently using. No, I think this one is actually slightly better. But I'll take it anyway, because this one's bound to run out at some point. Having recently remembered that Radazar's Veil is a thing that exists and that I own, I may be using it a lot more in future when going through dungeons and things, which means I will need an alternative source of light versus the Amulet of Star Vision, which I'd really prefer to only equip when it is stupidly dark and I have no other option.
I have you!
Summoning, is it? Sorry, mate. You have to do better than that. You have to get up much earlier in the day to beat Father Zulvan. Okay. Bill. Your strange behavior with regards to your weapons and stuff is starting to irritate me. Why are you using your fists now instead of the perfectly good glass claymore I gave you? You are behaving very oddly, my skeletal servant. Okay, well, I'm not exactly expecting crazy, priceless, lost treasures of ancient kingdoms down here, but, oh, well, that's not bad, though. A skill book, and it's worth plenty of money. Don't mind if I do. As well. Lots of mast, eh? Keen drinkers, this lot, apparently. Right, I think that's it, isn't it? Unless I fancy a swim. I don't fancy a swim. Well, there you go. Small smuggler's cave, or bandit's cave, or something or other. Although I haven't explored this little bit here yet. Anyone or anything here? Some kwama eggs, some salt rice. That's kind of it, really. Where's Bill gone? Bill Dorr, where have you disappeared to? Did I accidentally tell him to wait or something? There you are. You're, You're not that great at this whole following malarkey, are you? Also, it could just be my imagination, but you seem to be running a lot slower now. What is wrong with you, dude? What exactly is your problem? It's a shame skeletal minions don't come with an instruction manual with a troubleshooting section. Is your revenant behaving strangely? Look no further. Troubleshooting your skeleton minion. Part 1. Try turning it off and on again. See, I was hoping you'd start behaving yourself once you got out of there, but you're not, are you? Let's try and save and reload, although last time I tried to do this, it crashed the game. Okay, maybe we're alright. Morrowind sometimes really doesn't like to be saved and reloaded in the same session. With all the mods and stuff I've got, it just kind of loses its mind a little bit when I try to reload. No, you are still... Hang on a minute. Are you like... No, you're not trailing magical nonsense, that's actually just my shield. Maybe we need to get you into combat again. Maybe that'll fix you. Cliff Razor, come here. For once I actually want to fight one of you. Come over here. Fight my skeleton. Did that sort you out? I do believe it did. Marvellous, alright, we just need to, And the game crashed. Classic. Well, I'm beginning to suspect you might be more trouble than you're worth. But... let's continue on for now. I'm watching you. Well, do your job then. See how you get on. The main advantage of giving him this Daikatana is that when he hits people with it, it heals him. As long as it's got charge, anyway. Unfortunately, the friendly AI in Morrowind is a little bit stupid. You kind of have to attack an enemy for him to actually, do his thing. Luckily, I have a very weak absorb health spell that I can use to sort of tag an enemy with and then have him run after it. As you saw there. But yes. Bill, your usefulness is wearing thin. As long as you don't glitch. To be honest, as long as you don't glitch out again, it'll probably be fine. But at least if you do glitch out again, I guess. If it's desperate, I can just summon a ghost and then stab the ghost and get you to fight the ghost, and that should unbug you. But I shouldn't have to do that, man. It's annoying. Are you hostile? Seems no. Talk to Manat Shimabadas and his yurt outlander. My husband and I have no desire to speak with you.
Wealth beyond measure, Outlander.
You have come to pay the ransom for the famous noble Bed in Giladrin? Who? Yes, you heard right. I have the famous noble Bed in Giladrin. I demand 5,000 drakes in ransom. Who? What do you mean? You've not heard of the famous Redoran noble Bed in Giladrin? He's not famous. I've never heard of him. You told me that he was a famous noble of House Redoran. Perhaps you should speak with him. Hey, Dark Elf, I'm Belen Galadrin, a poor pilgrim trapped by these Ashlanders. Can you get me out of here? These Ashlanders are holding me for ransom. I thought the Ashlanders would kill me, so I told them that I was a famous noble. I knew it was wrong. What else could I do? So this famous noble is a liar and a coward. Very well, you can have him for 5 drakes. I can't tell. How spiteful does Fathis really feel today? We'll give him the 5 drakes. Good, he's free to leave. I think Fathis gave him the 5 drakes there, not so much because he cares about the pilgrim, but more just because... almost to compensate the Ashlander for his efforts, really, because ransoming a bit noble like that, that's, that's very entrepreneurial of you, sir. I can respect that. Besides, I'm more fond of Ashlanders than I am of Temple Pilgrims, so you know what? Have 5 drakes for your trouble, and we'll see this idiot on his way. Half tempted to kill him and turn him into a skeleton, but that would be far too much effort, considering my current skeleton seems to be behaving strangely as it is. Chief of Milanipal Camp. Any rumors? Those words are reserved for clan friends of Milanipal Camp, Outlander. What? Surely you've heard of me. I'm awesome. I defeated... what's-his-face at Irabanimson Camp. I am friend of the Kaushtababi. I journey north to meet the Urshalaku. Ah, you're really not interested, are you? I am the chief of Milanipal Camp, Outlander. Every Ashlander here looks to me to make sure we are safe from our enemies and that we have food in the winter. But there's only 3 of you, man. You say every Ashlander here, that's like 2 people that aren't, not counting yourself, So stay away from the settled people who call themselves the Telvanni. They enslave all the Ashlanders and Outlanders they can take alive, I have heard. I don't think that's strictly accurate, my dude. Did the Redoran tell you that? Let me ask you, Outlander, is it true that Nords cover their altars with the blood of captives and question their gods through human entrails? I have never spoken to a Nord before, but that is what I have heard. You should get your rumors from somewhere else, Manat. Because, you've been hearing some pretty wild stories, man. Whatever. Let's be on our way. Oh, almost forgot. I better talk to the pilgrim, tell him he's free. Right, yeah, enjoy. Don't go wandering through Ashlander territory if you're not equipped to actually fight them off when they try and take you captive, you bloody moron. Imbeciles. Are you coming down or what? Do your thing, Bill. Well done. So what's down here, then? I'm intrigued. Genuinely, and, okay, what else? What is it now? Oh, my word. Get him, Bill. So out of curiosity, what's your health now? Stats. Health 127. That's what it was before, so you've not taken any damage yet. How about you... go and attack them? Alright, never mind. I outright killed it. That was... never mind. Is there anything over there? No, it's just a couple of Nyx hounds minding their own business. I'm curious to see if this path of sorts leads anywhere. Leads to a bunch of Maverick ashes, if I had to guess. Be very careful here, Bill. I could use the robe alteration, it occurs to me. But that requires me to switch out of my very fetching red robe. So I'm thinking, actually I won't. You deal with them, I'll deal with this one. Fine work, skeleton. Fine work. See your stats. Health 98. Okay. I think the self-healing katana definitely helps. It may have run out of charge by now, though. No, it does still have charge. It does only absorb a little bit of health, though, and fatigue, but, you know, it's useful. It's very useful. I suggest you restore yourself. That's something you can do. I don't know how many times you can do that. Health 98, Magicka 117. Well, maybe that didn't restore your health. Tell you what. Have that. Take a heat link potion. You have not supplied me with any potions. Ah, I see. So you won't drink homemade potions, will you? It's got to be the standard stuff, apparently. Which is unfortunate, because I don't have a lot of the standard ones, I don't think. Here we go. That'll do. I have supplied you with a. It is not required. Ah. Well, if you say so. Do I have a heal other spell? I think I do. Heal companion, here we go. Well, if nothing else, my restoration magic will be trained up a little bit more with you hanging around. I imagine if I'd made a skeletal servant out of a high elf or a Breton, you might be a little bit better at this whole magic thing, but... Oh well. Did these guys have anything useful? Not particularly. Alright. Let's continue on. Look at that rope bridge. Wonder where that goes. Cliff racer. Hello. Yeah. Oh, you're blighted, aren't you? Well done. I have no idea where this leads. But curiosity beckons me onwards nevertheless. Honestly, unless my sense of direction is totally off, this may lead me to Morgan anyway. Yeah, probably does lead me to Morgan going that way. Let's check what was in the other direction. Or we could even climb up there and go across the rope bridge, to be fair. Not a bad idea either. You never know what you might find out here in the uncharted wastes of the Ashlands. Labragash camps, for example. Possibly something more valuable, though. You never know. Makes for a good trial for you, anyway. Though it does feel a bit like the path kind of ends here, really. We're well off the beaten track now. Yeah, this is just wilderness, isn't it? Of course, there's probably interesting things if you look hard enough in the wilderness too, but we haven't necessarily got all day. I know I said I wasn't in a rush, but there are limits. We still do have a destination. Not sure if that cliff racer can make its mind up as to whether or not it's hungry. I don't suppose you can levitate, can you? Good heavens, you can. Now that is interesting. Bill, you're full of surprises. Shame you can't recall or teleport. There's a big old spider over there. You gonna be able to make it over here? Yeah. Someone obviously built this rope bridge because there was something on the other side that was worth getting to. Question is what? The ghost fence, I suppose. Haven't seen this in a while. Oh, I see. I guess this path once led through the ghost fence up into Red Mountain. This must be a very, very old path, this. Now that I think about it. If the pathway seems to predate the ghost fence, it's a very old path. You can do it, Bill. I believe in you. There you go. I'm going to hotkey that heal other spell. I certainly don't need Night Eye anymore, so it can be bound to 6. Actually, to be fair, Night Eye could actually be quite useful, now that I think about it, after having gone through a few dark caves recently. So, tell you what, we'll set it to 5 instead. H. Heal Companion. There we go. I worry about you, Bill. You're my first Revenant I ever created, you see, and my skills were not terrifically great at the time. Truth be told, they haven't improved much since either, really, but I mean, don't take it the wrong way, but you are a lesser Dark Elf Revenant. Emphasis on the lesser part. So, eventually, I'm worried we're going to run into something that will kill you horribly. And then I'll have to carry all the stuff you were carrying, and that's just irritating. I wonder if you die, I can take your skull or your soul gem and remake you somehow. There was a bit in one of the books about repairing skeletal minions. I couldn't remember if that was for zombies or something. I wonder if it applies to skeletons. Well, I'm sure we'll find out one day. Probably run into an Ogrim Titan or something that will clobber you in a couple of hits. And then, well, that'll be an education, won't it? Yeah, look, this path goes right through up here, and then there's like a path bit going up there, and then you can see some ancient Dwemer ruins inside the ghost fence up there. One of the old ruined crater cities, I think. If I had to guess. But, well, we're not getting in there. Oh, look, that is... Yeah, and that's precisely why this ghost fence exists. Look at that, Bill. You think you've got it bad, mate. Look at him. He's got half his face missing, and he's just wandering around in the Blightstorm, which is no doubt going on the other side of this fence. Going, oh God, why did I make all these life decisions? This was a terrible idea. Something to that effect, anyway. What lies this way? Ghost fence again, I expect. Get him, Bill. Fine work, man. You're good at this. You are very good at this, indeed. I wonder if your skills improve over time. Probably not, I suspect. But, interesting if they did. Oh, look. Yep, here we go. That's a big... wibbly-wobbly corpus zombie thing. Again, as I said, Bill, if you think you've got it bad, mate, take a look at that specimen over there. And yeah, there's a big old Dwemer ruin on the other side of this. Can you imagine what lies within? Great treasures as well as horrible cosmic horrors as well, I'm quite sure. Well, I guess we found out why the rope bridge was here. It's an ancient pathway leading to that old Dwemer ruin there. So I guess the dwarves built this, maybe. The old Dwemer marched along this path once upon a time, many thousands of years ago. Now we walk it today. Not that there's much left of it, really, but... the rope bridge still stands, at least. Well, anyway, that's probably enough distractions for one afternoon. It's, I can't help but... You know what? I thought it was later than that. It's still only 11 AM. I guess that gives us license to get even more distracted, right? Of course, by distracted, I mean obviously fighting tons more cliff racers and giant spiders. Well then, Bill. Contestant number 2. You had some trouble with the last one, so let's see how you get on with this one. Interesting how you move so much slower when you're in combat sometimes, but then you redrew your sword again and then you move fast. It's very odd. I don't know why you do that, Bill, but your ways are indeed mysterious. On the bright side, at least, and I will touch wood when I say this, not that kind of wood, honestly. You haven't glitched out again yet. So far, so good, then. I'm going to need another potion. You know what? No. Just stop being so blasted inefficient. Use the robe of alteration for the purpose with which it was intended, even though it doesn't look as good. I'm assuming this will lead us back onto the path for Margan eventually. Still, there is a large beetle that I would like to not see anymore. Thank you. It's not like my short blade skill really needs much more practice, to be fair. Having said that, my long blade could always do with a little bit of practice, so... Ah, the rare Ashlands goat. Did you hear that in the background? Ah! Our assailant finally shows himself. Well done. I shall reward you with some healing. Not that you really needed it. The enchantment on that katana is serving you very well indeed, it seems. How's the charge on it going? It does go down, I assume, when you use it, yeah. So no, there aren't any NPCs get unlimited charges shenanigans. But it does have quite a few charges on it, which is good. Ah, some guar. Now, I was about to ask, are they wild guar that are going to attack us, or are they nice, peaceful, friendly guar? The answer is no. They're not very peaceful, friendly guar. They are wild guar. They were probably quite hungry if they felt like attacking us. Of course, I don't know what guar eat now that I think about it. Ah, we've come in a big circle, haven't we? Haha. Oh dear. At least we're getting lots of the map explored. I can just see what I believe is the tippy top bit of a Daedric ruin peeking over that hill. Dwemer ruins over there. Well, I've been to those ones, actually. No, actually, I don't think I have. Judging by the direction I am pointed in. Are we going to end up in that direction? Possibly eventually, because I think there's a big line of hills here, and I think on the other side of that is the Foyada, which we will be wanting to eventually enter in order to find the Velothi Tower we're after. And that, my friend, is Margan. Behold! We have almost arrived. It's right next to the Ghost Friends, isn't it? I suppose Aldrune is too, but this even more so. Okay. Margan, pleased to meet you. My name's Fathers Ulven. I'm here to kill a vampire and anyone else who gets in my way on official business. Nice to meet you.